Aldebaran, who created this, he died out early because it was just such a flaw. But he had help to set this place up. That help, the Gnostics call the archons and the aeons. The aeons are time. We're in the aeon of Pisces going into the aeon of Aquarius.
Right.
That's time. They helped them up. Now, think about this in a very simple concept. A circle, if I said, Miss Blue, you're running, and I said this on the last show, it didn't get to air. You get it in the download, but we'll top it off so we hear this. If I said the circle, if Miss Blue, you're running around in the circle, you would clearly say, oh, that's just another way of saying you're not going anywhere.
Right.
So, if you're in the zodiac circle going through lifetimes in this circle, you're not going anywhere. That means you're stuck in a circle of time. Time is 12 hours. Right. Oh, time is this, time is the illusion, and time got us fucked up. And yeah, but the zodiac are 12, they are the 12 hours of time. Jesus had 12 disciples. He was the 13th. The supper scene, when he was about to transcend, he was in the middle of both of them. The 13th represents you getting out of here. Jesus is the Son of God. So the Son, again, for the slow people, there is no real Jesus. What became this creature is only representing Horus and the rest of the sun gods. But we could use that because most people know that story. Him being the 13th is the middle point. The sun's hieroglyph is a circle with a middle point. That middle point represents the gateway out. So there was a 13th zodiac, which was snakes, representing Kundalini. The Christ energy is Kundalini. Right. The sun disk is Jesus. So the 13th is what you want to become. The out of the zodiac. So what does that mean? Can you walk out the zodiac? No. Christ consciousness means disciple means discipline. Right. That means you have disciplined those 12 frequencies, those 12 light frequencies, meaning you are no longer a fucking slave to it.
Right.
If I told you can, on Thursday is your day, the number 7 is your number, and you only get to do number 7 shit. Venus is your planet. You cannot go out with a Libra, but you can go out with a goddamn Taurus. If I tell you all of this shit, what am I but a motherfucking slave master? How dare you say I'm God, but you fucking submit to whatever the fuck somebody tells you Sagittarius is supposed to be doing. Most of them are half man, half animal, these zodiac, because you're supposed to be getting out of your beast mind state, which is planet Earth itself, and become that higher frequency. We're in duality now. They couldn't make this without duality. So you're supposed to become Christ consciousness, which is what consciousness really is. In Gnosticism, everyone is the Jesus. There's a Gnostic Jesus, which everyone is trying to become, the Christ energy. That Christ gets you out of the frequency of going in a fucking circle.
Right, round and round.
So people tend to think the Egyptians studied this, and because it was so, they just loved this. No, when they were studying it, they was decoding the prison, decoding how these light frequencies have a effect on humanity. And then once they understood the problem, then they could start transcending with solution, going beyond that shit. Who the fuck said you're supposed to be grumpy because you're a fucking Taurus or a Leo? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
You're supposed to acknowledge it. Are you supposed to not study this? No, study it not to be a slave to it. Study it to be disciplined. Let the zodiac become your fucking disciples, Christ. You get what I'm saying? How are you the Christ energy and say, well, today it says I'm not supposed to go fishing? Fuck does that mean? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And the shit that kills me the most is this Mercury in retrograde shit. Mercury's in retrograde, I can't do shit. You wouldn't even know what the fuck that was until you knew what the fuck that was. And now you just agreed to this bullshit. Fuck Mercury with the punk ass. Get what I'm saying?
Right.
So, depends on your mentality. There's a duality.
Yeah.
That duality is, if you have a human thought, these things can control your life, and they should, because you submitted. You said, I don't know how to control my life. I don't know how to control my attitude. I don't know how to access all planetary frequencies, all numerical frequencies. I don't know how to do it. So I'm going to let my Sunday do it for me. My sunbirth do it for me. So I'm going to let Taurus run my life. I'm going to act like a Taurus. I'm going to be a Taurus. I'm going to be a Pisces. I'm going to do that because I believe it and I can't figure out shit beyond that myself. So I'm going to listen. Why? Because I'm a human.
Yes. And, you
then
know,
when you say,
I was just going to say, you know, that is so true. It's really one of the things, the understanding I came to, too, and if you can speak on this, like you said, we are all of these 12 signs, and you go through different parts of this through your developmental stage. So maybe when you were 10, maybe you were an Aquarian, and you showed those attributes. Then when you became in your teenage years, you were sort of that Taurus. But you have to begin to recognize and sort of see this, like you said, and eventually evolve yourself to the point that you are that sort of that 13th sign, that Christ sort of sign.
Well, no, you could be a Taurus until you fucking 105 as long as you're thinking like a fucking human.
That's correct. That's correct.
That's the point. That's the point. It's like, which even proves them being the aeons of time is irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? A 10-year-old can act like, a goddamn 20-year-old, and a 20-year-old can act like a 10-year-old.
So true.
So age really has nothing to do with it. It's agreement that we're talking about.
Right. We're
talking about you. The whole thing in this is you agreeing to be human or you agreeing to be the God that you like to call yourself all day on Facebook. The Hootie, Ra, Nefer, Aming, El fucking Bay. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That comes with a responsibility. How are you doing that? And I'm not the police. If that's what you want to do, knock yourself out. When I look at it, this is what I see. I'm like, but how are you doing that, but you're still doing human shit? Today, my astrology says, eat fish, don't eat chicken, do a cartwheel, you know what I mean? And it's a good time to sit in the tub. I'm like, you're not questioning why somebody tells you that? Wouldn't that just be a slave master? And if you're talking about duality and polarity as that meaning something, that's fucking ridiculous. If you and I were on a seesaw going up and down, that's another way of saying, y'all ain't making no progress.
Right.
So you can say it's about balance. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
That's off the seesaw. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Once you balance yourself. Whoa, what does that mean? It means once you balance the masculine and feminine side, my yacht that everybody likes to talk about, you are now able to get off the seesaw with your counterpart, the other side of yourself. And one is up is just as fucked up as the other one not being up.